Hello, thank you for joining me. It's Stephen Englander. We've finally moved into our new studio. We've had a few little hiccups, as you've probably seen, which is why the show's starting a bit late. But tonight, we've got Facebook, Meta. You know, not surprising, we're going to mention them. We're going to look at ways of increasing profitability. You know, interesting stuff. And of course, we've got, we're going to have a quick look at the autumn budget. Just before I start, though, I just want to put a reminder out there that it's bonfire night coming up, and some of us have got little pets, little dogs, cats, and they're petrified. Last year, my poor little dogs were scared stiff every time the fireworks went off. So, you know, see what you can do. You know, let them not, because they get so scared, little animals, they really don't know what's going on. But the other one is, I wanted to say that I really enjoyed some Diwali snacks this morning. Thank you, Ramesh, for bringing them in. And I'd like to wish everybody a sweet Diwali. Yeah, said it right? Yeah, yep. So let's go and have a look at Facebook. It's now become Meta. They changed the name Facebook to Meta. There's a lot of these tech giants. I don't know how you feel about them, but they seem a bit sinister in the way they conduct their business. And Facebook seems more toxic than most. I mean, looking at what they do, they collect information from you. They sort of know everything about you, and they sort of try and nudge you in certain directions. They charge through the roof. I mean, I've actually cut Facebook from all of our sort of endeavors of marketing because they're just so expensive, and they don't give you anything. They don't, you know, they're always pushing in the wrong directions, false information, the lot. So I actually find them quite toxic, and I'd just rather not deal with them. So somebody was mentioned the other day that they think they've changed them to Meta rather than Facebook because it implies sort of like some high-level tech and they are the future. But as far as I can see, everything they're doing is pretty much in the marketplace now, and they're selling you as if they're moving into some sort of major futuristic environment and being the leaders of it when they're not. Everybody's doing it. So don't get caught up in it. And I also figured that, well, I heard somewhere that they want younger sort of customers, younger people going onto their sites. And I thought, all this trouble to get rid of older customers when, you know, all they need to do is put their login details, make them a bit more complicated, and you know, I won't be able to get in for a start. What about you, Graham? Are you okay signing in, or are you getting old as well now?
I do not use Facebook, sir. How dare you?
No, you don't, do you? But it's a snobbish thing with you, isn't it? Yeah. I mean,
it's not snobbish. It's evil. It's an evil.
There is something about
entity.
it. I mean, I don't really care about people having my information in principle. I just, as long as they don't do anything bad with it. But there's something underhanded and sinister. It's like Mark Zuckerberg sort of wants to rip out your lungs and sort of examine every part of your anatomy without any good effects for us. Is that your thoughts?
That's a terrible thing to say, and I wouldn't dream of saying it about our new overlord, Mark Zuckerberg. He's a wonderful man. He's a wonderful man. And if you're listening, I don't agree. I disavow everything he just said. Please don't erase me.
What else are we going to talk about? Because we don't really like Facebook. We don't pretend, but we don't like any of these big firms because they pretend to help you, but they're not really. So what we were talking about before, you were saying to me, if people start a business, is there any way that you can actually give them an edge of people so they can actually make more money? Then are there any tips and tricks? And I think a lot of it is not really tips and tricks. It's just good business sense. I mean, believe it or not, there's only 3 ways of actually making more money, and one of them is to sell more often, and sell at a higher price. Now, that doesn't mean, when you say sell at a higher price, it doesn't mean put your prices up. It means finding ways to add more value for what you're doing. Like, I mean, look at all the big firms. They say, we don't charge for delivery, but if you want it next day, we charge more. You know, the railways, the trains, first class, second class carriage. You're in one of those little skateboards at the back, aren't you, being dragged along, Graham?
I have not gone through what I've been through today to sit here and listen to this trash talk.
What have you been through today?
I love you, Stephen.
I know you do. But what have you been through for
Well,
today?
what about the studio, man? We're in a
It's
brand new studio, aren't we?
We are, and the decorators haven't turned up.
No.
The electricians haven't turned up. The people to fix the shuttered door haven't turned up. So now we can't let anyone into the studio.
We can't get in or out, you know.
I'm so proud to be British, you know. But sorry, what are you saying?
Said we're stuck in here now.
Yeah, we're here all night now. Luckily, but the nice thing about it is that it's a big place, so we don't need to go near each other.
It's huge, isn't it?
It is. So we're looking forward to getting some events going. I think that'd be quite enjoyable. So just going back to this, making more profit. It's not a case of cutting expenses. I mean, you've got to keep an eye on expenses. I'm going to mention that in a minute. But when you sell things, you've got to sell more. You come up with ways of making people buy more. So it's like buy one, get one, whatever, you know, get one half price, or however you want to do this. Buy more often, get people to come into your business more, give them a voucher for the next visit. You know, these are typical things that you do. We do have people here that can help you devise these strategies of doing all this. And of course, the best one of selling at a higher price is like I say, don't sell by putting your prices up unless you're too cheap at the moment. But the idea is to create more value in the products you sell, and that's usually about giving a better service. And I've just got a note here I made earlier about expenses, because expenses are often emotional and costs are generally emotional. So you buy things not always because you feel it's the best thing for the business, but you feel that it's giving you something else. I'll give you an example. Staff are a big thing. So let's take bookkeeping. We offer, as you know, a very comprehensive bookkeeping service, which is much more comprehensive than you'd get by employing your average person, because we employ specialists and we're always here. So you've got people employing a bookkeeper at 2, 3, 4 times the price that it would cost to use a firm like us. But that bookkeeper might make tea and coffee for you, might be someone to sit and chat with, and these are the things that are emotional decisions. And in business, even though we should be concerned about your emotional areas, we need to be sitting down on a piece of paper and weighing up pros and cons and making money decisions not based on emotion. Then you've got it on the other way. I mean, you look at selling people. If you buy things on emotion, then so do customers. So quite often we're trying to find ways of identifying with a target market, because a target market's always easier to tune into and target. I mean, look at some of these adverts some of the big firms run, like the John Lewis ones. Great adverts, you know, and they're very emotional. They're full of like they rend at your heart, they pull at it, and it's not really selling the particular products. It's just saying, it's a feel-good factor whenever you come and deal with us. So just bear that in mind. Business is about emotion. It is about creating an image of yourself, and these are things that, funny enough, I'm learning more and more as I get older.
Stephen,
yes.
Stephen, can I jump in? Because we've
Yes.
actually had Mark Zuckerberg in the comments.
Oh, hi Mark, how are you?
He said I disagree.
Yeah.
The meta is the future.
Yeah.
So And,
Mark, I didn't say that the meta isn't the future. I said you're just talking shit. It's not going to be the Facebook meta of the future. The meta universe and the omniverse universe is going to be the future for everybody. You know, but it's not necessarily you that's going to bring it there. You're just going to toast and eat people that just join up for your service. Sorry, is that okay, Mark? If you want any help running the business properly, legally, and ethically, just give us a buzz anytime.
Ethically, that ship sailed as soon as he got Nick Clegg on board. I mean, Jesus, you Lib Dem? No, Facebook's done now, mate.
Sorry. We were talking before about debt. Is debt always a bad thing? You know, people strive all their lives to be out of debt. And I'm saying that debt isn't always a bad thing. Debt's a bad thing if you can't pay it, or the rates of payment are so high that all you do is work to pay off interest. Do you know they're called zombie companies? Do you know that, Graham?
I did not know that.
You can get zombie companies. It's basically a company that's got so much debt that all its profits, everything, go to paying off the debt, and they're never going to pay off the debt because they're just paying interest. But if you can get capital introduced into your company rather than investor capital. Investor capital often has demands on it, but you can get a decent low rate interest debt, and you can then use that money not to live on, but to empower the business to do what it should do. In fact, just on that note, I was on a conversation with someone, and I was saying that when you've got a car, the purpose of the car isn't to put fuel in it. You put fuel in the car to get where you're going. And a business is like that. The purpose of a business is not to make money. The business needs money in order to achieve where it wants to go. Do you like that? And if you've got a good mission, a good target, a good focus on what you're trying to achieve, and you can get money into the business at, that's not going to cripple it, you can then use that money to achieve far, far more. If you're gonna take the bounce back loans like many people have and just spend it on living expenses, and then you've not expanded the business with it, then that's not the best way to do things. But if you use money carefully in order to focus in on what it is you're trying to achieve, and the problem with a lot of smaller businesses that don't get the opportunity to sit down with anybody and say, well, what am I actually trying to achieve? So things like mission statements, they just go out the window. People look at, I haven't got time for that. But it's true. What do they say? They say, ride the horse in the direction it's going, and you've got to plan where it is you want to go. And that sort of brings something else we were talking about before, wasn't it, Graham? With climate change and all these things that happen, and how can we help?
Those dirty hippies.
Yeah. How can we help with well, climate change is a big one, with meat, with all these problems that people are facing. How can we help?
It fits in with what you were saying before, though, about go along with the horse.
Yeah.
Because whether you like it or not, these things are happening.
Yeah. But there are conditions with it. Like I thought, there's all sorts of these terrible things going on, and I want to make a difference. I want to change things. But jumping out there and trying to change things, you've got to really commit. You've got to put your life into it. And I always took the sort of thoughts that I want to make a better life for me, my family, friends, people around me. And it's not that I don't care about extended people. It's just I didn't want to devote my life to saving otters in the jungle or building trees and stuff like that. I think this should be done, but I wanted to get on. I'm not ashamed to say. And I believe that what we should do is we should utilise whatever it is that needs to be done right to align the business with that. So, like for instance, what can Accounts Direct do to be green? I don't know. We don't use much paper. Everything's online now. We don't really burn coal. We just rent premises, and we don't do anything that's really politically biased or anything. I mean, our solution to people with problems is build more businesses, create more jobs. So by helping small businesses to succeed, which we've great, we've got a lot of, we build up our own security, but we offer a valuable service. So we're going with the trend. If it was something that was sort of harming the environment, we might think twice about doing it, because there's always another way. And if it's about harming people, there's always another way as well. So we I suppose I'm saying, get on with your life, run the business as best you can, but bear in mind the effect it might have on people and the environment. That's my only opinion of that. I know you don't agree with that, do you, Graham? You've always been one to piss on your own doorstep, haven't you?
How dare you? How dare you?
You know you have. You have.
I do want to moan about something, though.
Go on.
So every week, obviously, we do, it might not seem it, but we do research for this show. And one of my rituals is I go on the Daily Mail, because it's obviously a very popular newspaper.
I've never read it. Is it still going?
Yeah, well, it's online now, and since they went online, they do phenomenally well. I hit the money section, I hit the business section, I have a good look around, see if there's any new laws coming up. I always hit the small business tab.
Yeah.
And the last time it was updated was July the 17th. The last time the Daily Mail put out a story about small businesses was July the 17th. It is shockingly ignored.
People don't care. Small
It's
businesses
crazy.
don't count unless they're not there, and then they count. And when Tesco takes over, you know when Tesco's got this new thing now, what's it called? Go Get.
Yes.
Get Go. And you can walk around. You don't need tills. You don't need anything because they facially recognise you, and you can put things in your bag, and they know they put it in your bag, and it just gets credited to your credit card. Good, isn't it?
It's terrible. You know what though? I'm not saying I don't order from the big brands. I do. I order online. I get stuff in bulk. But if I'm actually physically walking into a shop, I want to know the people. I want to have a face-to-face conversation.
Well, I'm a bit like that. You've got the like fungible products that you get anywhere. So more and more people are now buying stuff like that online. The future will go online. You know, a lot of small businesses can't compete on the same terms with the big supermarkets because they can just cut you to ribs. So small businesses can compete. You can still go online, get everything out online, but your shops, they can become showrooms. They can become where people meet and where everyone knows your name. And I think that's good. It's like you know, I need new clothes, Graham, because you keep ripping.
Oh
off,
yes, and you know what?
Because you keep ripping off my underwear. Honestly, it's not good.
Do you know what? Alan Reader agrees with you. He said that you need a better jumper.
My mum bought me this for my birthday.
What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
My mum bought me this jumper for my birthday.
Why would you say that to him?
I just find that quite upsetting now. My poor mum bought me this. You know, I mean, you should have seen the first one she bought me. Even I told her to take that one back. But no, I'm getting too fat for my shirts. So I'm sort of bursting out, and so I put a jumper on to cover the fact that my shirt's not fitting me properly. So I do need new clothes, but I don't want to go to Tesco's and buy them, and I can't, you know, buying online. I need them fitted. I need to know that they fit, and I don't want to go into like these big department stores because I can't stand them, and I'm finding it difficult to find a normal small retailer that I can go in and say, have you got a really big tape measure? You know, where do you get your clothes from, Graham? Oxfam.
Do you know what? I don't know. Where my clothes arrive from is a wonderful mystery, and I never know.
Yeah.
I'm wearing this right now. This used to belong.
It's nice.
It's not mine. I got it. I open my bag. I put it on. It doesn't belong to me.
No.
I'd never know where my clothes come from.
Maybe we should have a communal wardrobe. I don't know. Just think I was thinking of.
Apparently, as well, by the way, I've not looked this up. Happy Dogs just said in the chat that apparently Tesco's has said they'll be checking receipts. For the what's it called? Is it Get Go? I keep forgetting. Yeah, Get Go. Yeah, they're going to be checking receipts on the door. So not only have you got this soulless thing with, because I like talking to the old person on the till.
Yeah,
I never do the auto.
You keep them talking while someone's slipping stuff into the pockets.
How dare you? How dare you?
As if, how dare all the indignation for nothing.
But here's the thing, though. You go in there, you don't talk to the old person on the till. You don't. No. You've just got this cold thing, and then someone's at the door going, "Show me your receipt."
Yeah. Well, this is what I mean. The showrooms. You know, if I could find.
To get his clothes.
I just want to find a place that I can go and shop, and I don't feel I'm being fleeced, and I don't feel I'm eating crap, and you know, but it's where we live, isn't it? Decarbonisation statements. Do you know what they are?
No.
The government are bringing out an initiative where businesses, and in the next 2 years, it's coming out where businesses have got to make a statement of how they're going to decarbonise their business and basically become greener. And I always think, it's like when I said before about riding the horse in the direction it's going, if we're going green, if the laws are going greener, if are telling us to go green, if the whole world is going greener, if the public want to see we're going greener, then what the government are basically doing, if you think about it, they're giving us a basis and telling us what to do to become greener and then helping us promote it. So it can be an imposition, but I assume that'll be thrown on our desk for us to do for people. So, you know, when they start coming through, do let us know, but we'll probably let you know anyway. So what was this? What else do you want? What have you put here? What does a small business have to do to get anyone to care? And do you need the attention? I don't think you ever want people to give you any attention, do you, Graham? You're one of these that works in the dark where no one can watch you. sit in the corner and.
I know. First thing I asked today is like, when can I get my keys to this place so I can come here on my own?
I know.
And sneak around.
I know. Sniff all the floors and everything.
Or, I mean, you could say that it's more like just come here and actually get work done without.
No, it's true. I like that.
gabbing.
That's why new office is over there, quiet, peaceful, and get on with that. And I'll meet people.
They've already found you, though, haven't you?
I know. Do you notice that?
There's been a
It's not
train
even
on it.
set up properly, and people know I'm here, and they're queuing in all day.
I've pushed a couch and a chair together, and it's been full all day.
I know.
But,
I know. Do you remember? What Richard Mason was just changing subject a bit. He was in the news again, wasn't he? Because he made some personal remarks about Kate Middleton.
He was very taken with a waist.
Yeah. I don't want to be rude about anyone. It's just so many things are backing up here. So I'm just going to take a silence and respect Richard Mason's impolite and his statements and do you think he does it on purpose to get attention, to get people to say something outrageous or do something outrageous?
I don't know.
Or do you think he's just a bit pervy?
I think it's somewhere between the two, Like he tries to push it because he's not a stupid guy. I've seen him do interviews. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. I'd err on the side that it's actually intentional because he knows he's going to go viral.
I think so. So it's get attention. It's like publicity is good publicity, no matter what it is. And I think they do that. And if people don't even like what he's saying or doing, it becomes a conversation about him and keeps him there. So even people that don't like it go and watch the show and see what it's about. Businesses could be doing that. They can be controversial or not. I'm saying go green because that's the popular thing to do. But there might be another argument that don't go green, make a stand saying I'm not going green and get people talking about you and come and see what you're doing. I don't know, just publicise whatever you do and you'll find your niche market. Yeah. You're a Richard Judy fan, aren't you?
Out of 10.
You seem the type.
Ooh, I do miss Judy though.
Do you remember when he nicked all those that bottles of whiskey and then said, "Oh, he didn't realise he was doing it"?
Do you know what? I can't talk about it. I can tell you off air. I've heard a lot of stories about him because obviously I know people in the media. I know people that have worked with him, and he apparently over the years he's tried it on with things along those lines many times. Well, you know me. I'm Richard Madeley. I'll definitely be back with the money and all that.
I don't know.
Doesn't happen.
So odd what people do. I don't know. If I walk into a shop, I buy something, I pay for it, I walk out. I don't understand it. Graham.
Yep.
What's 7 plus 7?
14.
Yes. What's 7 times 7?
32.
Do it again. What's 7 times 7? Use a calculator.
It's 49.
It's 49.
49. Have you ever noticed that if you add two odd numbers together, no matter what they are, you always get an even number in the answer? But if you multiply two odd numbers together, you always get an odd number in the answer. So 7 times 7, two odd numbers, 49, odd number, 7 plus 7, added together, 14, even number.
3 plus 3 is 6.
Yeah.
3 times 3 is 9.
There you go. And did you like Enid Blyton? Just wondering if you liked Enid Blyton. Anyway, look, I'm going to put a contest out there. Find those numbers that don't fit in with this and you'll win a prize of £3.50. Just send them in to me. That's your evening gone, isn't it? SPV, Special Purpose Vehicle. V, having a standard company. I've been reading a lot somehow. I don't know why. I keep getting spam email and all telling me that they will form an SPV company. So just in case you're considering an SPV company, what's the difference between an SPV company and a normal company, standard limited company? Well, the answer is nothing. They're the same company. So if someone wants, you want to form an SPV and they're telling you there's all additional tax advantages and trading advantages and grant advantages, it's all a load of bollocks. It's the same thing and it costs the same and there's no special requirements. Basically, all it is sometimes you might have a business, say you've got a plumbing business and you suddenly want to go into property. So you have a separate company away from your main company that only deals with this particular venture. It just separates things out and keeps one company separate from the other. There's no special thing in it. So it's potential for another scam, but it's the same thing. And if you do want an SPV, there are advantages, but only in that separation of what it is you're doing. Like, I know a guy, he was buying and selling clearance stocks, and he bought some clearance. I can't remember what it was, but he bought the clearance stock. He bought it in a company because he knew he'd have to sit on it for 6-12 months, and he bought it in a separate company, so it didn't affect his normal everyday company. So that is an SPV, not to be confused with something that sounds like that. And there's another page done. So we've gone through this quite quickly, but we did start late. I've got loads more things to go through.
It's very, very important that we cover the
the budget.
Yeah, okay.
The budget, the
Hang on,
autumn
just
budget.
before we cut in,
Yeah.
Cup of Tea has said 2 + 2 is 4.
Yeah.
2 times 2 is 4.
£3.50 on its way to you. No, it's actually not. It's not. 2 is an even number. 2 is an even number.
Odd numbers,
Yeah. So sorry, you got me caught up then. So no £3.50. Cancel the check. Cancel it. You know, and in Tigers only. That's whole numbers. And anyway, what were we saying? New pill to treat COVID. It's been released in the UK, hasn't it?
Yes, first country on earth they licensed it.
That's good. So if you've got COVID, you can take tablets for it like you'd be taking for a headache. That's good. You know, the pharmaceutical industry is amazing. It's just growing and growing. Anything pharmaceutical, anything tech like that, we've all got to get into it. We it's the future. It's great for new careers for people, even people in business. There must be ways that you can, get involved somehow. Go and read up on all this new tech and all these tablets and all these things going on. There must be opportunities for you there. If you come up with any opportunities in the pharmaceutical world or in the high tech world, and it's something viable, but you don't know how to finance it or get into it, have a word with me, because we might be able to help. That's we're coming up to pretty much everything we wanted to cover today. What else we got? We were talking about drug dealers before, weren't we? Drug dealers.
I was not. How dare you?
We were saying they have a great business model.
You mentioned it, and I had no idea what you were talking about.
Well, think about it. They know how to get samples out there to get people interested. They've always looking for new markets. They've always got new products coming through. They're great at dealing with legislation. Good distribution channels. They keep the good customers close, and they become introducers and like ambassadors for them as well. And they've got great word of mouth marketing. You never see a drug dealer advertising on telly or in the papers or leaflets or anything, do you? What do? Chuck some shoes on a pole or something to say they're here. And
I've been on nights out before, and I've been stopped by people have drove past me and be like, "You want a lighter, mate?" They'll give it me, and it'll just have all their details on it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, I've learned something. Okay. Yeah, you were accused of looking like a druggie today, weren't you?
No, I got accused of being looking like a chav.
Okay, well, let's go with that one. And they've got fantastic credit control. They get the money, So anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. One other story. Dirt to Clean Manchester, 15-year-old boy. You might have seen it in all the papers. 15-year-old boy, Zach, lovely boy. He's gone out and he's recruited some big names in football and across the board in his car cleaning business. 15, well on the way of making a lot of money. Great business enterprise and great example for everybody else. And what's most exciting is that we're actually his accountants. And as soon as we realise that he's getting quite famous, we've pulled him in. So you'll have he'll be on our show next week. We're doing an interview with him. So 15-year-old boy, doing really, really well. I mean, the main papers have said that he's got OCD, and I always find that he's not OCD. He's just dedicated to detail. I mean, women have OCD. Men are just very, very, very sort of driven. So we'll see Zach next week. 15-year-old entrepreneur, always lovely to see. Did you have any other stories for me here?
Oh,
the autumn budget, I wanted to say.
you bastard.
Sorry. The autumn budget. I'm not going to go into it tonight, even though I said I would. I'm just a blatant lie that. And the reason I'm not going to go into it is because I've already written a blog, which you can see down below. So if you want to know what's going on in the budget, just click on that. It'll tell you all the things you need to know. If you want to discuss anything in particular, or something you're not sure about, or something that maybe you feel you can manipulate for your own advantages, you can either come to me on Mark Zuckerberg, and we'll see what happens from there. So we're coming to the end of the show. Just before we go, Graham, you've not said much tonight.
I'll do better next week, mate.
Will you?
I'll have a few more carrots before we go.
Yeah, you're a bit tired today, aren't you? And I don't know what to say. But anyway, I would like to thank everybody for joining me tonight. It's nice to be back. Hopefully we're going to have loads and loads of events that I hope you'll come and meet with us and join us and network with us. And I'm going home, I'm going to have tea, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for joining me.